Hey there, welcome to this video where we're going to explore why starting something new can be so dang hard. You know that feeling when you have a goal, like starting a business, learning a new language, or even just going to the gym, and you're all excited about it. But when it comes to actually taking that first step, it's like your brain is glued to the couch. Why is that? It turns out the difficulty isn't just about willpower. It has a lot to do with how our brain works. Our psychology and even neuroscience play a huge role. And in this video, we're going to break it all down. Our brain loves routine. It's designed for efficiency, right? So when we do something over and over, like brushing our teeth or driving to work, those actions become automatic. That's because our brain has created strong neural pathways for those tasks. These pathways are like superhighways that make it easy and quick for our brain to perform these actions. But when we try something new, it's like our brain has to build a new road from scratch. It's not there yet, so it's harder, requires more effort, and doesn't feel natural. That's why new tasks can be mentally exhausting. Another thing is what's called the comfort zone. Our brain sees the known as safe and the unknown as potentially dangerous. So even if staying in our comfort zone isn't helping us grow, our brain resists leaving it because it's wired to avoid uncertainty and potential threats. Now about dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that's associated with pleasure and reward. When we do things we're good at or things that are familiar, our brain releases dopamine, which makes us feel good and motivated to keep doing those things. New tasks, on the other hand, don't trigger that dopamine release right away because they're not yet associated with reward in our brain. So they can feel less satisfying or even frustrating at first. But here's the good news over time. As new tasks become more familiar and we get better at them, our brain starts releasing dopamine, making them more enjoyable. Okay, that's the neuroscience part. Now let's look at some psychological barriers that make starting hard. First, fear of failure. We often think, what if I'm not good enough? Or, what if I make a mistake? This fear can be so strong that it prevents us from even trying. It's easier to not try than to risk failing, right? Second, perfectionism. Some of us think, if it's not perfect, why even start? But that's a trap because nothing is perfect from the start. Perfection comes with practice and iteration. Third, being overwhelmed by the big picture. When we look at the entire task like writing a book, it seems so huge that it's intimidating. So we don't know where to start, and that paralysis keeps us from beginning. These are all natural mental roadblocks, but the good news is there are ways to overcome them. So, how can we make starting easier? One effective way is to break down the task into smaller, manageable parts. Instead of thinking about writing a whole book, think about writing one chapter or even better, one page or just one paragraph. That makes it less intimidating. Next, shift your mindset from perfection to progress. It's okay to make mistakes. They're part of the learning process. Focus on improving and learning, not on being perfect right away. Celebrate small victories. Every time you complete a small task or make a little progress, give yourself a pat on the back or some form of reward. This helps to release dopamine and makes the task more enjoyable and motivating. And finally, the 5-minute rule. Tell yourself you'll work on the task for just 5 minutes. Often, once you start, you'll find that you're more motivated to continue than you thought you would be. The initial push is the hardest part, but after that, it gets easier. To sum it up, struggling to start new things is completely normal. It's how our brain and psychology are set up. The key is to understand this and use strategies like breaking down tasks, focusing on progress, celebrating small wins, and using the 5-minute rule to make starting easier. Remember, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. So pick one of these strategies and give it a try. Let me know in the comments how it went for you or if you have any other tips for getting started. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. This video was produced by Rocket Motivation. Please like and subscribe to support us. Thank you for listening.